So if you haven't been here before, this is the SEO IDX workshop, and we just talk about websites and social media. So bring your questions.
I should have some.
Yeah, well, everybody should have some.
So I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
It's about more like what does the about me page should say? Like it should say like a more formal bio, or it's more like a history of you, of your work, of your company, or it's more like just a few words and something like that, and it's just the about me paragraph.
I would be doing if you have the space, I mean, which I think you do, I would be doing a history of me and my company and what I'm doing. Just for content's sake, to have the 3,000 words on the page that would help you. Or not 3,000, probably too high, but having the whole, if you have a robust history for your company, why not display it?
Mm-hmm.
If
Right.
you've got now the question, and remind me, this would be for the company or for you personally?
Company.
Yeah, for the company. So you would probably want to make that, the whole history of the company if you can. The relevant stuff. How long you've been in business and what areas you're covering, and how much of your sales grown, and number of agents, and maybe some personal profiles of the leadership.
And the about me, it's more like a just about me, or you can just like put a lot of stuff there.
It would need to be, if it's about me being, meaning me being the company, I would have it be specifically about the company and not put a whole lot more on that page, just so that Google doesn't think you're mixing apples and oranges
Right.
together.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
but if
it's-
you've got a
That's what I was thinking
company
of.
that's run a long time and it's got a lot of branches and a lot of things, I would highlight everything about it. I walked into an estate agency here that I am friends with the owner, and I went and saw his shop. And I walked in the door, and they had all these awards on the wall that they had won for specific things or whatever, none of which is on their social profiles. And I kind of gave them what for. I'm like, I'm walking in here and learning more about you in your lobby than you're showing people online in your About Me section. So pictures of the award, and I made content for them right there. These are the things that we stand out for. Why are they not on your website? Why are they not on your socials?
And another suggestion is, other than your whole history, I forget who gave this to me, but it's called 5 questions to answer. It can be about you as an individual or about your company. And the examples, tell us a little bit about your company. What sets your company apart from the competition? How did your company become so good at what y'all do? Real estate is highly competitive. How does your company maintain code of ethics? What has been the highlight of your company's success so far? And if your clients could leave at the end of a transaction, what's the one thing at the top of their mind that you would want to be? So think about, and I'll happily send those 5 questions to people, but mostly I've given it to agents to answer. So it's more about who they are, but it would work with the company. It's a little bit of shorter version of here's about that, but I would still have that long version of all the successes that you've had and in your whole history.
Great. Okay. Yeah, I have something like that. It's more like how do I put it together, right? It's more like that. The other thing is if it's better, just put words, because sometimes I have seen like this infographics, and it is a lot of images and for telling the same stuff, but like with a little cartoon or something like that, and it's
What is your company though? What is the personality of your company? Because that's somebody else. So is that
for
something you and
AAA.
your company would present normally in everything else how you market? Or is everything else more of a story that you've told in words?
I guess more words, but yeah, sometimes it's more like try to tell something with video or pictures.
So and that's great. But don't try to be something you're not. If that is not who you've always been, if that's not who your company's always been, don't switch it up just for that one thing, because now it's inconsistent. Now it's not, and now you're presenting something that you normally wouldn't do, and you're going to lose trust. So your company needs to be exactly who they are all the time, and don't ever try to pretend to be something else. And if you're not normally using infographics and things like that, don't do it just for this one project.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
Who else has questions for your site? That's a really good question. I've never been asked that, so that was really good. Who else is running a site that is building out still? I know Shirley and Becky, you are. Everybody's site is always building. What is
Yes.
our commitment to putting new content on our site each month? How many pages does that mean? How many keywords does that mean? How many new blogs are we putting on our site? What is our commitment to that?
I like to do at least 2 new blogs a week.
Okay.
And I don't know anybody looks at any of that, but my blogs, I don't do keeping current matters because it's not local. So I set up Google alerts for Houston real estate and Houston economy. These are 2 things I
Okay.
can build of. And when I find the articles I like, because there are thousands of them, I take that article and I put it into AI. Please rewrite on a 6th grade level or 7th grade level, something that's within the grade level of reading in this in this area, because it's different around the country. You want to be on the level that the people in the area are. And once I have that, I have a whole bunch of keywords already built into that. So not only, let's say it's a new building that's being built. Well, in that article about that building, I will have a link to properties where where every time that building is mentioned, it'll link to properties. Every time a neighborhood is mentioned, it'll link to properties in that neighborhood. Every time a zip code is mentioned, it'll link to properties in that zip code. Every time that builder's name is mentioned, it will link to properties that builder has built that are currently available for sale. Everything, I will find as many ways in that one article to link to properties on my website that are for sale. But I always start with, here's the article, and you get to read about it. But in that article, they will talk about the area, they will talk about the community, they will talk about what's available, they will talk about comparable areas. So you have all these opportunities to take one article about one building and turn it into 20 more links to other properties that are
Love
available.
that. Love that. Hello, Coach Michelle. How are you doing?
Good.
So who else has commitments for what they're doing with their website, and what's their monthly commitment to bringing in more content and keywords? John, how many are you putting on, and what are you doing with yours?
For a while on the main page that is not the new one, I was doing blogging at least 2 to 3 times a week. Trying to create maps, Google Maps at least once every other week or so.
Okay.
The new website, I'm building the area pages out now since you helped me out with that. So I've got, I think, at least 10 on there already. I added some more this morning.
Okay.
So I also have taken some of the blogs onto that website that I've previously posted on the other website because they actually pertain to that MLS. I have 2 websites, 2 different MLSs for those that are
Okay.
wondering why I'm saying
Which is smart.
different websites. Because they pretty much overlap next to each other here. So that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
And
And do you have a cadence for when you do that?
No, not really.
Okay.
I don't have a time blocked if that's what you're asking.
That's exactly what I was.
He has 2 websites because he's in 2 different MLSs, and the reason we like to do that is because not all MLSs are built out the same, and you lose opportunities for searches. Let's say one of them does not offer a search for high rises. It just searches. You have searched by building, so now you've lost that opportunity in the other MLS. And anything that they both have to be identical as far as what's available in their IDX. Otherwise, you lose opportunities because it will only compare the 2 that are matching. And Bob has a great example. What was it, New Jersey and Florida? and she has almost there was a client that you had that had New Jersey and Florida, and she had almost no opportunity to build out her website. She had the MLSs were so different.
Yeah, I'm not recalling exactly that scenario, but yes. So I'm licensed in 3 states now because I want to own the websites that I'm working on as much as I can. I don't, and then I'm not going to go close those deals. I'm going to hand them to my coaching clients and friends to go close them. But I was talking to Real Geeks and about whether or not I should combine like 2 MLSs in Florida with my Delaware. And they told me, they said, Bob, Florida has like 16 fields for waterfront. Delaware doesn't have but 3 of those. So I'd be losing so much. Now, other IDX providers simplify this. They came up with like 10 variations you can do because they count on those 10 being everywhere. So they limit the range of what you can do. And I'm not here to promote Real Geeks, but Real Geeks lets you take everything the MLS provider gives you. They don't just limit it to the constant 7 to 10 that you can get away with. The way like a product like, I'm not picking on any products here. Pro Agent website gives you like 5 or 7 extra little searches you can do, like waterfront, golf course, 6, 5 and over. Okay, they know generally they're going to find those everywhere. RG lets you do everything you can possibly do, and then but it's just every MLS, there's no standardization between Miami, Orlando, and Tampa. I'm sorry, Tampa, Tallahassee. It's all going to be different. So that's why having a separate MLS, a separate website, like I have Dallas, Austin, and East Texas, because each of those MLSs have different variables.
I want to.
Shirley, did you have a question?
No, I was clicking on something and it's
Okay.
playing.
Yeah. Gotcha. Who's on Instagram? So yeah, it's you have to be strategic that when you're deploying the sites that you're doing them for the right reasons and with the right technology. And one of the advantages that the large brands have over us, let's look at Zillow, let's look at Realtor. They can show every property across the nation. They don't have to go join every MLS board the way we do. We like Texas has what, Leslie, like 15 MLS boards or something like that?
Yeah, so we have a whole bunch of them. A bunch of smaller ones. We have major ones like the Houston, Austin, San Antonio, DFW, Corpus Christi, El Paso. But then we're so huge, all those smaller areas, some of them will have multiple boards. And sometimes you might have to join more than one just to get properties listed because you work a bigger area.
Right.
Yeah, but it's a lot. And we're trying to I'll be honest, the Houston Association of Realtors is trying to become the MLS for the entire state. I'm not, listen,
They're better organized and they have a better product.
Oh my God, we have an amazing product. There's not a better association in the country as far as I'm concerned. But right now, if you're part of the Houston Association of Realtors, we have now partnered with Austin and San Antonio, so we can go into our back office MLS, the matrix, just like everybody else can, but we can now pull properties in those areas as well. Now, I can't put those properties on my website. I can't pull for the IDX solution. I still have to join those local MLSs. But if you're searching for homes in Texas, it'll be Realtors, Zillow, and the Houston Association of Realtors that comes up, and it doesn't matter what city you're searching in. Our websites will come up first.
Yeah. Yeah. So who's got social media questions outside of websites? Who's got like, cool things they're doing on Insta or TikTok or Facebook? What are we up to on there?
Well, I started.
Matt, you're quiet today.
I
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I started following agents in Los Angeles that say on TikTok that say, here's what you get for $1.2 million. And of course, it's a hobble. And then I stitched their video with what you can get in Houston for that same price. And of course, it's amazing. And I make it all fun, and I make fun of them. And by the way, I have gotten private messages from a couple of the agents that I stitched a video saying that was so much fun. Keep doing it. They want me to keep doing it to promote their content as well. But and I'm getting views off that. And honestly, it's kind of entertaining. And now I'm making connections with those agents. And when they have someone moving to Houston, they'll be calling me.
Of course they will.
I have a question. I was watching like a video yesterday, and it was talking about the importance of how to make leads through your stories, and the best thing you can do it's putting polls on your stories.
Okay.
I have put polls, but it's not that great. So, well, for me, so I want to ask, what do you think about this for all of you?
Putting
Putting
polls in your stories.
the stories for properties, and it was more like or something that refers to if you want to live in this kind of house in this area with these amenities, with all this. And it was like, what do you prefer, or what is the essence of what you're looking for in a house? It's all about properties. So it's more like what are you looking in a house for you to buy it? And it was just two alternatives. It's like the question and two alternatives, and they have to vote about it. And I have like not that bad, maybe like 10, 14 leads. But it was like in that video that I watched, it was like, and you can make like 3,000 leads, something like that. But it was, is this because that's it's a little bit of work. So it's a great alternative, or it's just like something that it's going to pass.
I like
Who's
I
had
like
it?
doing those polls.
Go ahead.
I like doing those polls. I'm not necessarily looking for the ones that say, would you be, is this a home you would consider buying, or would you consider this neighborhood? I like the ones that will pick something about that property and ask what I would prefer, or if I like that. And I like the ones that they're ridiculous. They'll find the ugliest picture of that property and say, could you live here? Yes or no. So,
Yeah.
and it will build your following. I don't know how they're getting the contact information for those stories other than their social media contact.
Yeah, social media content.
Yeah, but I mean, they will get followers that way. So I think if you're making the polls fun, and I don't know how you can target it to your area, like without running ads. I don't know. I don't think on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok you can say only show to people in this specific area. So some of that following may be outside of your area that will never give you business. However, one day maybe they have a friend that's moving, or
A
maybe
referral.
a referral. So it's all about building your social media presence, and you can do it many different ways. But I think polls are fun, and I think people will participate. But make it fun. You can't. If you're too serious, no one's gonna participate.
Right. It's more like I don't have like the pressure of selling this house. Is more like making contacts.
Right.
Okay.
You're engaging your audience, and a great way to do that is find something about the house that like find that house that has from the 1950s that has never been updated. The perfect opportunity. Could you live here? And by the way, you'd be surprised how many people say, "Hell yes, I could live there. I love green
yeah, yeah.
orange appliances." Like you will find, but find something. Find a question that you can make fun. Not say, "Would you buy this house?" or anything like that. But find something if you're about a specific property. The other kind of the polls you can do is like you can put up different types of properties. Different styles as far as architecture goes, and say which would you prefer? Which is your preferred architecture? Is it mid-century modern? Is it brutalism? Is it God help me out here. Pick one. There's so many different types, but give like 4 options, and then they can choose one of 4. So Bob does these poll questions all the time on Facebook, where it's one picture with numbers on each, with 4 pictures built into it, and there's a number on each one. Which do you prefer? So you could do that too, but with Instagram, and I don't know about Facebook Reels, but with Instagram Reels, it does give you the opportunity to like see who's choosing what, so you don't have to go back in there. With Facebook, you have to look and see if they actually made a comment.
Right. Yeah, and Instagram is like, it's more like for Instagram, I think. Okay. Yeah, I used to make these ones that were it was more like amenities that it worked for a while.
Mhm.
That it was more like, what do you prefer, living in with in a house with a pool or with a garden? Like like a terrace, or I don't know, like near the beach or near the woodlands, something like that. So it was, I think I had a good interaction there, but it was just like for a few months,
Mhm.
and then it was like nobody cares.
Okay. Make it more fun. Find a home that has a mother-in-law suite, and the poll would be, would you want your mother-in-law living with you? Yes or no? I mean, find something that, ridiculous, that you can find about it, but just kind of make them more fun, and go find those people who are already doing stuff like that, rip off and duplicate.
Yeah.
Just rip off and duplicate. Like, and no one's gonna care. You're not stealing, you're not downloading their content. You're saying you're taking the idea they have and you're making it your own now.
Yeah, of course. And it's not like it's not a big deal. Okay. I have another question. I
Yeah.
don't know if well, here you have been using ManyChat, and I was just starting to make like the whole putting all together. Um, and I want to see if it's something that uh, that you have used that nowadays is fundamental to use, or because I think it's a little tricky, because you have to make a lot of research and you have to make a lot of funnels. And so if you have worked with that, how's it going?
I have not used ManyChat.
I heard it's mission impossible. Hi, by the way, sorry, this is Mark. I heard it's mission impossible in regards to being able to satisfy a customer using ManyChat at this point, because like there's so many scenarios, and it's really very canned answers to questions. It's like it is very hard, extremely hard to. I wouldn't
Yeah.
use it. Like I would rather use like Chat AI and tell them that I'm hey, I'm Hitler or something than it's a joke. You know how you can con Chat AI, Chat GPT to say anything you want.
Mhm.
But the point is, I mean, ManyChat is so limited now; it's almost obsolete at this point when compared to Chat GPT or other stuff that comes out. You can train Chat GPT a lot easier than you can try to create this funnel maze of, hey, if this question is this, answer this. I mean, it's so hard. I wouldn't
Yeah.
suggest it.
Yeah, because that's the thing, because I just got stuck in the like the first steps. And it was more like you have to predict what the client is going to ask you, and then if they do not put the right wording that you're using for the action buttons, then you're not going to pass from the first step. So it's a little tricky, but I have heard like a lot of stuff. I just assist to the spiritual event that it was for content creators for Instagram. They don't talk about that much about how to use it. It's more like, ManyChat saved my life. ManyChat just increased my lot of work, and I have like 3,000 leads with ManyChat, and it was a life changer or something. And well, I think it is. I think it could be good, but I haven't heard for someone that real that have used it. And I was in the chat of the event on the summit of Instagram Summit, and everyone in the chat was like, "What, have you used it? How do you manage to put all together? How do you create the funnel? What is the results of that?" And everyone
Alejandro, the
was
king
like,
has no
"I
clothes.
haven't used it. I was looking for use it with this summit." So
Alejandro, everybody's trying to sell it. They have a bunch of affiliates that try to sell it, but the king has no clothes, and nobody wants to admit it. That's the whole point. Like everybody's trying to say, "Oh, it's so great," because they make money from saying it's so great, but nobody wants to. I mean, using the use case has to be extremely limited, but extremely limited page with like one specific intent, and that's the only scope, or else there's no choice. Like you can't use it for real estate search. Like somebody comes to your website, they can search for anything and everything. How are you going to implement that? You can ask maybe questions like "What's your home worth?" kind of questions, but then
Mhm.
that could go a million different ways. I just wouldn't recommend it, honestly.
Okay. Well, thank you.
No problem. Yeah, I mean, you might as well have better luck trying to train ChatGPT, but even then, you still need your MLS data to be able to get a great experience with that.
Well, I trained ChatGPT too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have with a lot of prompts, but I don't know, like I want to try this one.
I mean, even if you like flyhomes.com, if you ever want to go to their website that uses AI chat, it's flyhomes.com. But even then, it's so limited. They still limit you to a certain scope of questions and answers, even when they're using it. Go check it out. You'll see what I mean. It's go to their
Okay.
property detail page and see how they use AI. But even then, it's extremely
Power home
limited.
search. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a national website that uses a bunch of data,
Interesting.
and that's like a $200 million investment that somebody put in.
Damn.
Okay.
Yeah, we can afford that, can't we?
I'm trying.
Of
Good.
Of course
I
you
got
are.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a nice webpage.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to distract from you from the conversation.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
fine. That's fine.
That's okay.
Perfectly fine.
But yeah, even then, like they are stuck to the information there is like on property detail pages. They have a ton of data on like unrelated stuff. Who the neighborhood voted for? How bright is the sky? What like they have a bunch of data that's outside the MLS, and they still try to limit the Chat GPT into that specific scope of information they have about the property, for example, or the area or the neighborhood. So even then, like you can't answer everything. And especially AI sucks for hyper local content. Like for example, the joke I use is in ChatGPT. I used Pepper Tree Farms, which is the subdivision I live in Palatine, Illinois. So I said to ChatGPT, "Hey ChatGPT, can you talk to me about Pepper Tree Farms in Palatine, Illinois?" It came up with a imaginary farm in Palatine, like totally made up the farm name. It wasn't even a subdivision. And when you ask for the subdivision, it still makes up stuff. So the AI doesn't even have local information to make this kind of a knowledgeable conversation with the customers. So the best conversation is you and the customer at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I have a
So
question about Google.
go ahead.
So we're building out website searches like 5 for each area, like so Enumclaw, Covington, Auburn, Maple Valley, Bonnie Lake, Lake Tap, Sumner. So we're doing the searches like homes under 500, homes under 1 million, homes over 1 million. Although we're going to change it, we're not going to do homes under 1 million. We're going to do like homes under 900,000 because I think it sounds better. And then homes over 1 million, instead of saying that, we're going to do, luxury homes. So we'll put the city first for all of the different cities we're going to be listing. And then like waterfront and then acreage would be the other searches. So there'd be like 5 searches for each city. When we're posting it on Google, you have to do like a picture. Would you recommend doing the same picture for Enumclaw on all 5 different searches, or picking different pictures for every search? Or what do you recommend on that? Or just maybe doing a thumbnail that isn't, because we were trying to find like a picture of like the area instead of like a house, because if we're using somebody's house, I think we have to get permission. So we were looking at doing just like an area like picture. So would we use the same photo for all 5 different searches, or to post.
I think if you could get variety, it would look
As a
better.
product,
I think if you got variety, it would look better. But if it's more simple to use the same picture, just go with the simple.
because we're gonna be doing a whole bunch of cities. Cause I work a really large area. So. And then
Does anybody else have a different opinion?
Products,
I'm still, if it gets it out faster, use the same picture and maybe backfill later with different pictures. But I just think for the variety, it would look better with different pictures. But if somebody else has a different opinion, I'm happy to hear it.
I agree with you, Bob. And I also wouldn't worry about the I wouldn't use actual homes in the neighborhood. I would just go get some stock photos of some like homes that might be something that would be like similar style, or just a house in general, or a picture of a neighborhood. It doesn't necessarily have to be anything fancy, like, but yeah, I personally would like the variety as well, because I think then that shows you're clicking on something different.
Right. Leslie, you do a lot with pictures online. Wouldn't you think that Google would show those pictures in Google search better if they were different pictures? Google's going to know it's the same picture over and over.
Well, not necessarily. So for
Okay.
instance, when I blog and I use pictures, sometimes I'll use the same pictures. However, what I title those pictures may be different. So for instance, I may be a gay realtor in Houston, but I also may be the Oak Forest realtor. So I will choose. So when one blog, I may say Houston gay realtor, the other one, that picture, when you hover over it, may say Houston Oak Forest realtor. So it just kind of depends, because when I go and search images for certain topics, you will see that even, and the example, another example I'll give, like if I search Houston gay realtor and I go to images, some of those images are doubled up because I posted the exact same image with the exact same title through this. So you'll see the image over and over again. As long as it's posted to, I guess, to a different blog, but I blog in several spaces. So I don't think it's necessarily all about the image. I think they're looking at what's behind the image as far as how it's tagged.
Yeah, because it'd just be 5 photos for each of the areas. And then we would do a different photo for the different areas. But maybe, yeah, I'm just trying to figure out simplicity for one, but what would rank higher on the SEO?
Well, what do you may I ask, like, for example, do you use different file names for these, even if it's a duplicated photo? Do you use a different
don't.
file name for them?
Yeah,
Do you use
it'd be a different file name. It would have different SEO too.
Yeah, like different alt tag, different title attribute in the image. Google says I don't read EXIF data, but I'm sure they look at location of the image as a way of looking at it. So like in EXIF, you can actually rewrite the location of where the image was taken. I'm still fairly sure Google is taking a look at that, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean by EXIF, like the metadata of the image, where you can actually edit that? You can technically edit the location of the image to point to wherever the town name, or you can put longitude, latitude of the subdivision if you want.
And so Google would probably like it better if the image lines up with the city.
Absolutely, city, or if you're using subdivision, even nearby to the subdivision, like you took the picture near the subdivision, you're optimizing
Yeah,
it
I'm
for the
not doing
subdivision.
specific subdivisions, I'm just doing specific
Good
cities
enough.
on acreage or waterfront or,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But if you put a restaurant name, it should be near the restaurant, like where the location is, in a sense. But those are minor details, though. I mean, the whole point is different file names, different sizes. I mean, but yes, Google is learning better at image recognition of duplicate items. Like I just Googled my name, I put the same image everywhere. I only see the image once. The Google actually pulls other images for my name, for example, and which is interesting. But yes, if you use different file names, different alt tags, different title attributes, you should be able to utilize different images in different places and still help the SEO of the page, if not the SEO of the image itself. Is the idea here.
Edelyn, do you have any questions on what we're doing on the Google right now?
None.
You never do. You're like, ah.
Didn't mean to
Okay.
scare you. With too
Yeah, and
much
nobody
stuff.
should be scared by any of this. It's all kind of cool stuff.
Yeah.
So, hey, Andy,
Hey, Bob, how are ya? Excuse me.
doing pretty good.
Awesome.
So we're just talking about social media and SEO and stuff like that. So people got questions. I've got some graphs to show people in a minute, but I want to be sure we get everybody else's questions in and thoughts and things before we jump into graphs and fun stuff.
Well, I'm
Okay.
gonna go potty then really quick before we jump into that. I'll be right back.
Well, that's going to go in the blog, and everybody on YouTube is going to know that. Okay.
This meeting is.
And I
being
forgot to
recorded.
announce before we did this, this is a YouTube blog, so watch what you say. If you don't want things said, yeah. I'm not going to go back and re-edit this out. So, who's been seeing their website traffic go up, and who's been seeing it go down? I've been noticing in September things went a little down, which is traditional because people stop looking for houses and put their kids back in school. Has anybody seen an uptick or a downtick?
For me, up.
Okay.
At the moment, it should be a downtick season. I have a theory on this. In September, in fall and spring, two different updates come in. In fall, the national websites rank higher, and in spring, the local sites go higher. So I'm betting almost at this point that a lot of you guys saw a downtick in your rankings and traffic, and you will probably see the Zillow and the more national portal rank higher. And this tends
Okay.
to switch around in March or April when it's like a Google's balancing act of giving love to local sites versus non-local sites. So the local sites will see more love in March, April, and the non-local national sites see them in the during the Christmas season, I should say. So
Interesting.
probably in September you also some kind of a hit, Bob. I don't know your traffic, but I'm assuming you saw some drop in September, October, also.
September is always a quiet month in our real. I usually put a post-it note at the end of August says breathe, it'll come back, because September the tap turns off, and because people get busy with school and Labor Day, and they stop looking for houses, and then by late September, early October, they're like waking back up again and showing back up and doing stuff.
What about your
So
rankings? Do you track your rankings?
I don't think we changed that much, but the number of leads coming in goes down for us,
I would say.
and then it turns back on. But obviously, if for us, it follows the seasonal cycle of, January, we get a small uptick. By March, spring break time, we get a little bit better uptick. And by May, just hold on, the ride is in, keep your arms in the ride is going. So, and then by September, we kind of level back out. And I think around October, November, we get an uptick again.
I was just saying, I haven't looked at my analytics in a long time, and I just looked at it, and just from October 11th to yesterday, my active users is up 49%. So, and yesterday it was up 239%. Now keep in mind that really means I only had like I don't know, it said so yesterday apparently I had 452 active users. That's really high for me. I have no idea. No one signed up. but
Well, that means the active users that are there are either just browsing or they're already signed in.
Yeah.
Could be one of either. Either or both. Matt, what are you seeing on your site?
I don't monitor my site that much. I am in pay-per-click with Google, and I get a fair amount of registered leads that way.
Would you like to monitor your site? Would you like somebody to send you a monthly report that tells you how your site is doing? Because I'd love to talk to you about that at a certain point.
Very good.
So that's a great segue to
Click ads are you using that are effective?
Say that again.
What pay-per-click ads are you using that are effective?
So I work in close into downtown Dallas. The majority of the properties here are condos and townhomes. There's of course other things, but I've really gotten super specific phrases. Like if you're looking for a Dallas condo, I'm not going to show up in that search. But if you're looking for maybe an uptown condo, Uptown would be a neighborhood in Dallas, then I'll probably show up for that. And then with that, there's multiple, I don't know what they're called, site links, I think they are, where maybe I've split it out that I've got condos under 500, condos under 750, and then maybe 750 and above. And so when a person clicks on one of those, they'll land on my Real Geeks website, and that search will be very specific to Uptown condos and whatever that price point might have been. And then that automatically sets them up on the saved search that every day they get an email with that criteria.
So
So
then they register for your site. So they register for your site. So you're using, basically you're running a search and you're on the back end of your website and creating a link. And you're using that link in the Google pay-per-click.
that's correct. So that's their landing page. And the way Real Geeks works is whatever that landing page is ends up being their saved search.
Oh,
So
okay.
everyone that comes in through pay-per-click, whether or not I'm able to speak with them, because I make my phone calls, but whether or not I've been able to speak with them, they're already set up with a saved search, and that saved search is based on however they clicked in. They could have clicked in on just Uptown condos, and so that means they're getting every price. They could have clicked in on townhomes in Uptown, so they're going to get every price. But if in that pay-per-click ad they clicked something even more specific, which is typically related to price, then they'll get that specific price bracket.
Okay, and then you do the site extensions or links for other areas in that same city.
So I don't work any other cities. So that's my struggle with Real Geeks is I don't work any other cities. And so I do have some other city pages built out. That was kind of the package that I bought when I bought in. But I've been focusing in on specifics within my area within the city of Dallas.
Okay.
But the replacement for you would be those other, those other cities, could be, links as well.
And
Okay.
you can be real specific, like when I say you like pick a high rise, create the page for it. Most people, most agents aren't even doing that. Although don't get in trouble like I did because I beat out the developer of that page on Google, and they called Bob and yelled at him.
But I've talked to Real Geeks. There's problems with doing like a condo community, in that there's a flaw in their system, I guess is what you would call it. If there's we have a building downtown, it's 1200 Main Street, just for example. You could try to build a page for 1200 Main Street, but you'll probably get 1220 Main Street. You'll get, that's maybe a bad example because actually on Main Street, there's very few places for sale. But Turtle Creek, for instance, is a popular street of condos and high rises in Dallas. And you can set up a page for 123 Turtle Creek, and you'll get 122 Turtle Creek. You'll get 124 Turtle Creek. So I've been talking to them about why is it that if you put in a house number and a street name that you wouldn't get those exact matches.
Does it not have the option to choose by building?
We don't have that Houston MLS up here.
Oh, sorry.
We don't have that amazing system that you're working on down there.
Matt, don't they have subdivisions?
Our subdivisions come from our tax records, and our tax records are inconsistent. So one building.
Polygon search. Matt,
Say that again?
Polygon search.
Yeah, well, Polygon, but I can tell you there's a building on Turtle Creek that maps into the creek. So you'd have to actually polygon across Turtle Creek into the water to pick up everything in that building. The Vendome 3505 Turtle Creek.
But no one's going to see that you've mapped it that way. They just
no, but I don't know. But I don't know. Do I really need to? When I'm mapping, what other buildings are potentially going to map on in the wrong location? Because not every unit at 3505 will map in the creek, but some of them will.
Ah.
Well, those are the ones that are underwater.
Those are the discounts.
And don't worry, the
Right,
Houston
so there-
MLS is coming to you soon.
I was gonna say, if there's anything I can do to help, let me know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's lakefront property, as John says. Okay, let me jump over to the reports real quick. I'm gonna just do this and um, I'm gonna shine out a few people who are some of my coaching clients here. So, and I won't give names, but they know who they are and you know, they're lovely people. This person this year so far has got 6 deals from the Real Geeks website we built out. 49% of her transactions this year by volume are coming from her website. This person here has 26 from Google Business Profile. This person has got over 120 or so reviews, and they've gotten the majority of them in the last 6 months. They are beating the crap out of their Google Business Profile, which is excellent. Texas Pride so far this year, we've had 6 closings from our Real Geeks, which is 2.4 million, $70,000 in GCI. I didn't highlight this person here with the 6 is 4.7 million, 117,000 GCI. This person's gotten the 3.4, 157 GCI from their Google Business Profile. This person here has been really getting it with the Google, she calls it Google My Business still. And the Real Geeks, Facebook, Instagram is another one. She did have online leads for 6% of her business. So, and that means that for her Facebook, it's 1.4 million and 661,000 for Google Business Profile, 870,000 for her Real Geeks leads. And then this person here, what was it? Websites were 21%. Her website leads were 21% of her business this year. I didn't go grab her dollar amounts, but 21% of her business came from the websites we've been building. So not everybody is at that level, but they are drawing it in when they put in the time to do the blogging and to do the work behind it that gets, you know, put in the tech hours, help build the site out and do the blogging, or in this case, go out there and go out there and ask for the reviews. Go get people and stay on them. Okay. So we've started doing blogging for some of y'all who are not doing the blogging. And yes, Mert, thank you for letting me know. We now have those submitted through Google Business Profile Google Search Console to get the blogs indexed so that those links will count for you people. The other thing we're doing is we're building out, I'm doing these agency analytics graphs for people. I'm starting to try to chart trends of how is everybody doing for sessions. What you'll see here is there's a variety. Most of them are down. We were talking seasonally being down. The number of sessions is down across all of a lot of our sites that we're running. This will help you kind of get an idea of how's my site doing versus not. Now, Coldwell Banker Mexico is doing great. They've got a nationwide site. It's not a Real Geek site, but they're doing really great. Hersey Group, we're up 4%. You know, this kind of gives me a trend, and I can look at some of the sites and be like, oh, Holly, I love Holly Swans, but her site is brand new, so it's not going to be drawing in as many as a mature site might bring in. We look at average session duration. How long are people dwelling on your site? How is that affecting, you know, your searches? Are you getting a lot of people to hang out, or are you getting people that hit your site and bounce off, hit your site and bounce off? The longer people stay on your site, the better it is. Okay, so we're looking at screen views, how many times people are looking. And by the way, John has been amazing. John helps me. I put out the first row and John does the rest. So it's been really great. Thank you, John. So this gets into how many impressions we've had, how many clicks, how many sessions, how many Google Business impressions, how many Google Business clicks, and load time. Load time is incredibly important because you want your site to load quickly. Google does not reward slow sites, okay? So this is just the level of geekiness that I'm getting into, trying to help people get better at doing their social media and doing their websites. And just what can we play with? What tools can we put together? What can we, you know, what two electrodes can I hold on to and make the electricity go between them? So any other questions or any questions on that stuff?
Maybe
It's-
next.
I have
it's
a question. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
Somebody
sure.
has a question.
Mark, you're on the call.
No, I know. I was wondering, Does anybody see a bug in Realgeeks by any chance on? Does anybody add sold searches to their content pages, like sold properties?
Texas is not allowed to do solds, but
Good
other
enough.
sites could.
That's what I was asking the group. There's a bug in Realgeeks that we saw that I'm trying to figure out if it's system wide, where the sold listings, when you put sold listings on content pages, it shows up at the very top of the page, along with the active, even though the sold is, it could be a decade old sold, and we're sorting the page newest to oldest. I just don't know if anybody here ever did that kind of a content page. If not, ignore the question, but then move on. It's not a big deal.
Can we take it offline together?
Absolutely.
Okay, let me try that on my Florida site.
Yeah, no, they're looking into it. It's been 6 months or so. I'm in Arizona and it's like try to do 120 properties on every page. And we're seeing stuff, the first 2-3 listings sold in 2012. Well, a community that's now costing 800,000-900,000 and they see a property for 175,000. We're getting a lot of tour requests for those and definitely don't want that. So I know the
And you're sorting those by oldest ones first?
newest to oldest.
Newest to
So
oldest in a transaction from years and years ago, sorting is newest?
yeah, they don't know if it's ever since the commission change that for us, Arizona Regional MLS is going in and updating data, which then is making that look newer. And they've got to do something on Real Geeks end to be able to do the proper sort. They tried to tell me that it was, well, you should have a separate page for sold and a separate page for active and a separate for pending if you want. I'm like, well, I got 9,000 pages for one. I'm not changing it. Been here for 12 years, never had this problem up until recently. And it's obviously for SEO reasons good to have as many properties as possible on the page. So hopefully they can get this bug fixed because it's not spectacular right now.
Well, I guess Texas is shielding me because we don't have that data. Okay. So no, Mert, I didn't know that. But yeah, if you want me to test something on one of my other sites, my Delaware or my Florida site, I'll do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just test one page. I just want to see where the sold stuff show up on your pages. That's
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for being here. We do this every month, and hopefully I'll see everybody back next month.
Okay.
And if you have questions, just write me in between.
Great.